Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and kind of in another one of my expensive and inexpensive comparisons. Right now, a set of 4 snap-on picks with these small mini acetate handles, the hard handles, is over 70 bucks. I don't have the full set, or I thought I did, but I'm missing one. But anyway, of these old school handles, if you get the Instinct handles, it's a little bit cheaper, but still you're in the, well into the $60 for a set of picks. Mini picks, 4 of them with Instinct handles. These cost more. But anyway, so what's an option? And the option I have to show you today is Swanlake. Now, Swanlake, not only is that a cool name because I don't live too far from an actual Swan Lake, but these are the Swanlake long, or I guess long mini picks, mini long picks. And they are, what are they, hook and pick set. They're the small ones. This set you can get for about 11 bucks. And there are 5 of them. 6 of them, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are a little bit different. I'm going to show you some of the differences, but overall, they're picks. They're tiny picks, and in some ways, these are kind of like sacrificial tools. I have beat up on these things, usually end up having to scrape them. This one you can see I've had to clean off. I end up buffing them out, trying to get the glue and the stuff. That one's still got glue on it. This is my favorite pick, by the way, this shape. And it is represented here in the Swanlake set. A little bit harsher bend, but it's there. Some of the pick sets don't have this one. But anyway, I was looking through the different inexpensive pick sets, and I've got a couple of different Swanlake tools I've been playing with. They are made in China, but they are inexpensive, but there's not a lot of technology here. It's a piece of steel that's been shaped and sharpened. This also has a spinning cap on the end. My guess is because they use this for their screwdriver handles too. Just pops off, you can see that. Nothing fancy there. I could see maybe there is some time when that little kind of spin in your palm might make a difference. But anyway, what do we have here in these long, in our, $10 or $11 pick set? This is our offering here, and they did come, every single one of them, with a little piece of tubing on the end because they are fairly sharp. So what do we have? We have got the hook. Now, before I forget, I wanted to mention, some people were asking when I did the pry bar video yesterday dealing with this small Weehaw. It's a screwdriver tray, but I was using it for putting pry bars in. It does work with the picks except for this one here. So if you wanted to have a hole for that one, you'd probably just need to, you can see that, just bore that out a little bit. You can see it doesn't quite fit through. But otherwise you'd have to kind of work them in there, but that's a great idea for them. That'd work fine, except for that one. But anyway, so what do we got? We have got, of the 6, we've got this kind of a 90-degree smooth bend. We've got that 45 with the cool, super important bend, the standard straight awl, the pure 90-degree. If you compare those two, you've got kind of a rounded, get those together, rounded and a sharper. This one has a hook bend on it for pulling a little bit easier. This one's different, plus you can see the taper. It's a little different. Full hook, and then kind of this zigzag thing, this Z-shaped one. So for the price, they're solid. They are painted versus the raw steel. My guess is the steel's higher quality in the snap-on, but I was trying to come up with a little test for that. So if I grab this one and this one and put them inside a tube here, you can see I've just got a little steel tube, and they're just barely both coming out. I'll line them up so they're both just sticking out a little bit. And then as I bend this, you can see kind of the arc. They're both bending almost the same. If I slide this in, excuse me, in further, so you can see how that is. Now the Swanlake bends a little bit more than the Snap-on. Also, these have knurling, which might come into, it might be handy for a little bit of control. I'm not too sure, but it also would make cleaning them a little bit harder. And it's paint, which means that you can kind of scrape the paint off. I've got made a few marks there playing around with it. But overall, for the price, they seem fine. They come in this small case here. This says the 66033 6-piece hook and pick set. Straight, full, 90, double angle hook, and combination pick. Not sure exactly what all they are. That's the names they use. But anyway, they will come in handy. This is probably going to be a garage set. I've started to get a little leery about leaving some of my Snap-on tools out, especially in the summer when the garage is often open. But I thought this would be a good start into the Swanlake. I've got another pick set I'll be working with and a few other of their tools. Overall, it's a multi-component handle, kind of this hard plastic here, a little bit of rubber there. It seems to be in pretty strong. I tried pulling one out and I couldn't get it out. If I could, you know, I'd probably just heat it up and melt it back in. But it's also nice to have a pick or a pick set that is pretty much sacrificial, that you don't really have to worry too much about damaging it, bending it, you know, throwing it on the grinder and putting it back into service without a lot of concern. The Snap-on ones are great, but they are getting, you know, believe it or not, a little bit expensive. As far as the thickness of the shaft, for those that are wondering, the Snap-on here, we're at about 3.52 millimeters, and the Swanlake, we are at about 3.45. So just a hair smaller. It is a little bit noticeable, but that also could be the color too. Black is slimming. And as far as the handles, the Swanlake handle's actually bigger, but overall the picks are about the same length. So you can see where that comes into play. Anyway, thought you might be interested in what I thought of these. They are, if you wander the halls of the shopping halls of aisles of Amazon, you might have stumbled on these things and wondered about them. I did too. Finally decided, you know, I'll take the plunge at, I think it's $11 and something now with a 10% off coupon. So worth exploring. Anyway, they are actually better than I thought they were going to be for an inexpensive Chinese-made pick. Not the high-quality fit and finish of the Snap-on, but it's a mini pick. It's hard to really get that Snap-on magic into something like this. But probably don't have a lifetime warranty, and I have warrantied out plenty of picks. But anyway, there it is, the Swanlake 6-piece hook and pick set. And with that, Doc out.